Hey everybody, it's Matt here, and today we're doing another unboxing video, and this one's actually going to be a bit meatier than the last few that we've done, and this one is on the Yakuza Remastered collection. Now, it is only remastering 3, 4, and 5, and remastered is actually a very important word to use because it isn't a remake like Kiwami 1 and 2. So these are going to play like 3, 4, and 5 on the PS3. Also, something really cool that should be mentioned is that they are completely retranslated, so it's not just taking 3, 4, and 5 and some of the issues that some people had with the translation and the games at the time. It is uncut, and we are getting the same team that worked on Kiwami 1 and 2. So down here it actually says, as soon as we get the camera to focus, that there is a 2-disc digipack and a collectible Yakuza 5 PlayStation 3 case. That's actually really cool because Yakuza 5 on the PS3 was digital only, so if you want to get it now, in the US at least, you do have to pay, I believe, $40 for it digitally, and I'm not against buying digital games, but for 40 bucks, just not really a fan. You can see the case here, and I'll be showing it off a little bit later, but either way, really happy to be getting it in this collection. So it says here, complete the journey of the dragon. And I'm not going to read too much about each game because I don't want to spoil it both for you and me. I'm actually not this far in the franchise, but either way, really happy to have the collection. I'm actually still stuck on Yakuza 0, but don't worry though, I did beat Kiwami 1, so I'm not that far back, but I definitely do have some catching up to do. Okay, so we've taken it out of the shrink wrap, and the first thing that we see is the Ryuga Gotoku Studios logo. Also underneath that is the PS3 case, which we will be taking a look at a little bit later. So taking a look at this case right here, which is where I assume the 2 discs will be, this is the logo / crest / emblem for the Dojima family, usually seen as a tattoo on Kiryu's back. So it looks really cool, I have to say, and then when opening this up, you can see that not only is there a sticker for Ryuga Gotoku Studios, but also on the right hand side are the 2 discs. 3 and 4 are on 1 disc, I assume they just must be small enough, and 5, the newest game on the PS3, has its own disc. Now what I find really cool is looking at some of the artwork, the Majima logo. So looking at some of the artwork when taking the discs out is pretty damn cool. Usually it's Kamurocho, but I actually really like seeing different pieces of art. I don't know what that is in reference to. I assume it might be something in these 3 games. I am unsure. But either way, it looks really cool. But moving on to the PS3 case, what's interesting is that if you're a huge fan of the PS3, you're gonna notice these differences most likely right off the bat, but as someone who doesn't have a lot of PS3 games, personally it is very hard to tell unless you're holding an original PS3 case and this one. So looking at the front here, you can see that there's a little kind of imperfection. That's just a general issue with the case itself. Turning it around, of course, there's nothing on the back other than the logo, and you can see what I assume to be Kamurocho on the back. No reason to put anything else there, of course, because this is purely a decorative case. But when looking at the side of the case, when trying to open it up, you can already tell, okay, this is a little bit different even than standard jewel cases. But when opening it up, oddly enough, there is a disc tray in there. You can put a disc in there if you have a loose Japanese version of Yakuza 5 or whatever you have loose. You could just kind of put it in there. But it's so strange to me because, again, there is no physical version of Yakuza 5 in the US. So I assume it was just super duper cheap to be able to buy, I can use words, this case, because I assume they were all pennies depending on how many they bought. They were considered day 1 edition, so not sure if you can get them now if you get Yakuza Remastered, because I don't know how many they sold. Again, these cases are cheap to produce, but they do slide into the overall case as you saw earlier in the video. So yeah, even though they are cheap to produce, these cases, in a general sense though, it's probably a lot cheaper to produce the whole set without this case. Case itself not expensive, but the outer shell probably is. Either way though, let's actually compare this to Yakuza 4. So just comparing them both, you can see that they look, again, pretty similar, but Yakuza 5 is a little bit thicker, and also just again on the side, you can clearly tell that it is a different style of case just when trying to open it up. So, you know, is this the worst case scenario? Haha, cue the laugh track, but seriously, is it though? No. It's really not at all. I actually think it's quite odd that they even have a way to kind of slide it in with the other Yakuza Remastered kind of overall set, because I would actually like to display this with my PS3 games instead of having it kind of slide in there and kind of leave this open hole. So really, it is not the worst case scenario. Again, you probably won't be using this. There's no reason to. There is no physical game. I keep on saying this over and over again. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but again, there's really no reason to use it. It's just so interesting that it is almost the same case, just minus the clasp to open it, and also of course no PlayStation Network on top there. But it's very interesting how close they got to be able to you know, kind of print this out, because you would think that it would not even have PS3 on there. I guess that because they're so close with Sony, they were able to work with them, and that's how they got that done. Because usually when it comes to like limited run games or any other kind of studio reprinting games for other systems, it'll say something like compatible on, but it won't actually have anything close to the original logo. So very interesting to see that happen there. Also, something that should be noted is that when looking at both of the logos for Yakuza, you can really see that Yakuza 5, they're kind of leaning into a Ryuga Gotoku, where Yakuza 4, it was just trying to be its own thing. I remember, funny story, my dad picked up Yakuza 4. I guess he didn't really like it, but he heard it was kind of like GTA meets kind of Japanese inspired style, so he looked at that and he thought, well, this isn't really for me. Maybe my son would like it, so he gave it to me, but I never picked it up because it was Yakuza 4, and then I heard that there were 3 other ones and never got around to playing it, sadly, until after he passed. So Dad, thank you so much. You were right, I guess. It just didn't really think about that at the time. So love you, Dad. So everyone, this was the Yakuza Remastered collection. If you liked the video, please remember to like and subscribe. And if you have these 3 games, tell me what you think of them. Please be spoiler free, but either way, tell me what you think down in the comment section down below. So love you all, take care, and tune in next time for something completely different. All right, everybody, so see ya.